welcome to Update Novi. With me today here at SWAC Studios is our Economic Development Director, Ara Tapuzian. Welcome, Ara.
Thank you, Cheryl.
And three very distinguished guests from CLAIR in New York. And CLAIR, for those of you that might not remember or have seen our show, we do this every year with some very distinguished Japanese guests, is the Council of Local Authorities of International Relations. And it is a partnership that the city of Novi has developed with some Japanese colleagues in New York. And let me, if you wouldn't mind, have you all introduce yourselves for those that are viewing here. Ayuko, can we start with you?
Okay, my name is Ayuko Ono, just like Yoko Ono, Beatles' wife. I come from Sakai City. It's in Osaka Prefecture, and it's in the middle of Japan. That's about it.
My name is Keiko Washioka. Washioka, about my last name, Washioka. Washi means eagle in English, so please remember as eagle.
It's eagle?
Eagle, yeah.
Yeah,
sounds strong.
Celebrities, we got animals.
And Takashi?
Yeah, hi. I'm Takashi Sonohara. I came from Tokyo. Before coming to New York, I have been working for Tokyo Metropolitan Government for 27 years, and I spent most of my time in the field of port promotion and port administration. And job here in New York is completely different. I'm now supporting the activities of local government. It's a very challenging, but I'm enjoying my job and my life in New York. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. You all came to New York. Takashi, you've been there for 10 months, and the ladies just for 1 month now. What do you all think of the United States, and in particular New York? And then we'll ask you to compare it to Novi. What do you think about life in the United States thus far?
It's very exciting, and everything I can see is very familiar from TVs, and I really like it.
How about you, Keiko?
New York is similar to Tokyo, but my hometown is countryside, so I always excited to see many tall buildings, skyscrapers, and I like New York's lively atmosphere. But it's my first trip to another state, and I love Novi because Novi city is similar to my hometown. Lots of green, I love it.
Very nice. And how about you, Takashi? Obviously, you've had much more experience.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts about life in the United States compared to Japan?
Oh, since I came from Tokyo, and I often went to jazz live show when I was in Tokyo, and I was really wanted to go to the famous jazz live pubs in New York City, and I actually went a lot, and I'm enjoying that. And also the very wonderful point in the New York is we can go to the Broadway musical frequently after my job. So I'm really enjoying that. I went to the Broadway musical nearly 20 times in these 10 months.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And what was your favorite movie? Because I think when we were at lunch yesterday, it was a Detroit movie that you said you remembered that when we were having lunch yesterday in Detroit. Do you remember what you told me?
Oh yeah, Dreamgirls.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the movies are very popular. What is your favorite thing that you've done? I have to ask you because it just makes me smile. What's the favorite thing you've done so far?
Avengers.
She went to see the Avengers, and it was very good, right? Ayuko?
Yes, it was cool.
So your first impressions of Novi, Keiko shared that it's very different than New York. Is it what you thought it would be? Much more green, the housing, is it what you thought it would be?
Yes.
Very much? And how about you, Takashi?
Oh, since I was born and bred in Tokyo and now living in New York City, now I have believed I love living in urban cities, and I believe to continue to live in the cities like Tokyo and Manhattan. But after visiting Novi, I have changed my mind. I have decided to submit my application for this Meadowbrook Commons.
Cummins,
I can't wait for my retirement.
you're too young yet, our dear
too
friend. Way too young yet.
Takeshi, since you've been here the longest, are there elements of both in Novi that you've seen so far or in New York that when you go back to Tokyo you'd like to see implemented? Are there things that you've noticed here that you'd like to see done back home? Maybe comparing governments and not Broadway.
Well, so I'm now studying the policies of the American cities or the states, and I have been studying for the New York City's policy, but the problem, the challenge of the New York City is that they have to tackle with the increasing the population, the growth,
Right.
but the Tokyo is population is declining, and we have to think about how to deal with the purchase the quality of life. I think so. I think I can study something that can inspire us about the quality of life in this Novi city. So I try to find something.
Very nice. Stay tuned. This very first segment was obviously very interesting and informative with our new friends and hearing about their adventures in New York and a little bit in Novi. But when we come back, our dear friends from Japan are going to share a little bit more about their thoughts about Novi and the quality of life that Takeshi just mentioned, and how we too in Novi can learn from our Japanese colleagues here. So please stay tuned. Don't go away.
Making the world a better place is an intricate puzzle, and piece by piece, the women and men of Rotary have worked hard to fight hunger, promote literacy, and move the world toward peace. But there is still much to be done, still some missing pieces. And one of those missing pieces is you. Learn how you can help Rotary put together a better world at Rotary.org. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Precious moments with your family, kids smiling, enjoying outdoor activities. Parks, 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 where communities come together. But what if parks were to be no more? If parks go away, where will the children have to play? Where will your neighbors have their picnics? Where will you continue enjoying a positive atmosphere? American parks are facing a crisis unparalleled to any other. Speak out and save our parks. Visit nrpa.org for more information on how to save our parks.
Welcome back to Update Novi. With me here at SWAC Studios, again, our Economic Development Director, Ara Tapuzian, and three new friends from Japan, a relationship that the city has with CLAIR in New York. Welcome back. We talked a little bit, or we started to, Takeshi touched upon quality of life.
Yeah.
It's something that we in Novi work really hard to maintain. You mentioned the green trees, we've had conversation, where are the tall buildings and etc. There's a lot of land here. Very, very different from what you are used to in Tokyo or where you're living in New York. How do you see our quality of life being able to fit in with things that you could take back when you go to Japan? Keiko?
Trick question.
We visited senior center yesterday, and I heard a story. Many senior volunteers joined to maintain their facilities, and senior people joined a lot of activity with people in the facility. So I was very impressed, because in Japan, older people, especially retired men, have nothing to do. So they socializing. So,
That's not so different.
So
Who are you looking at?
that's the problem, because in Japan, many older people are increasing. So we should find some good volunteer system. So that was very impressive.
One of you, I'm not sure which, either Ayuko or Keiko, one of you had an interest in the senior population.
Yeah, it
was that
me.
you?
Yeah.
So it was interesting for you to see. It's not very common, as we shared, for a city to own senior or older adult living and have the senior center there with activities, but for the community as a whole. We've talked a lot about transportation, very different from what you're used to. Do you all own cars in Japan?
Yes, I have a car in my hometown, but in Tokyo, I think it's not necessary because subway and the bus is everywhere.
So very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yes.
And in New York, you said it's a 10-minute walk to where your offices are. So very unlike here that we've been driving quite a bit. You had the opportunity yesterday to also go to the fire station. What did you think of that? Ayuko?
The color of the car is very unique because it was very fresh green, and the people there is very nice. So I enjoyed there. What did you think?
You talked a little bit about emergency preparedness while you were there. With Director Johnson. Very similar to emergency preparedness efforts in Japan, or not so much?
Well, I think we not only Tokyo but the Japan experienced a great disaster last year. So I'm concerned about what is the risk, site-specific risk disaster, the possibility of the risk which is likely to happen in the specific areas. So to know that the risk and evaluate risk is important, I think. So we are now trying to evaluate the risk all over the countries. So I asked him what is the possible risk for the city of Novi. And I think he said one of the risks might be the tornado. It's quite unpopular, uncommon in Japan. So it's very interesting to know that each city has its own possible risks. So I understand that we have to evaluate the site-specific risk and prepare for that.
That's a great point. I mean, the tornadoes, or we have a train railway that goes through Novi. There's possible derailment. Something, the mall, very populated area. So you're right.
He mentioned about the man-made disaster is very to prepare for the man-made risk is important. For the chemical will be put on the ground and some kind of things.
Now today you're going to get to go visit one of our Japanese companies, Toyota Bushiko. Ara is going to take you over there, and we're going to visit the Art Institute of Michigan, which is a secondary education. Tomorrow you're actually going to go to the Novi community schools and tour and actually interact with a Japanese class, and then visit our friends over at Ringo Kai, which is the Japanese School of Detroit, and get to talk with their administrators a little bit.
You have to ask them what Ringo Kai means.
I was amazed at what Ringo Kai means.
We were too.
Who wants to share Ringo Kai, what that means?
Ringo Kai means apple meeting in Japanese.
Apple meeting. So Ringo is apple. Kai is meeting. Okay.
We're not sure where that came from.
No, we aren't. Anything else you'd like to share before we close the show, or your thoughts about the program and the exchange, what it provides you all with possibly? Why you maybe embarked on the CLAIR experience?
So as I introduce ourselves, we came from different prefectures and cities, and we have different backgrounds. But I think the two have the different backgrounds allows us to create a lot of options to support activities of Japanese local governments. So it's a very important, I think it's one what our strength is. So, and then we learn a lot of cities in the United States, so we will be able to create a lot of options for both the United States and Japan. I think so.
Oh, very good. Well, I wish you all an absolutely incredible journey here while you're not only in Novi, but while you're in New York learning American government and the culture here. And as our dear mayor said last night, and City Manager Pearson echoed, if there's anything we can do for you over your course to stay here or throughout your time in the United States or when you're home, please. We now consider you very dear friends, and we're so glad that you visited us.
Thank you. Thank you for
very much.
inviting us.
Thank you all for watching this edition of Update Novi. As always, we encourage you to keep watching Novi Television, and if you'd like more information about the city, to always feel free to visit our website at cityofnovi.org. Until next time, take care.